You're listening to the Everyone's Wrong podcast, where we leave trigger warnings, safe spaces, and political correctness behind to explore the extremes of political discourse.
Hey, you fucks, this is Everyone's Wrong. I'm Dave, a.k.a. The Great White North.
I'm Dustin Dark.
And welcome to the echo chamber that is fucking Dave and Dustin doing things alone. We will mostly agree tonight. Sorry, not sorry.
That is fairly true. Ed is a little under the weather. He's not going to be able to make it tonight. We have decided to drudge on without him. We're going to scrape the fucking bottom barrel of the internet and see what we can find today.
In his own words, I've been hugging the toilet bowl all day.
We'll let everyone decide what that means.
So yeah, like Dustin was saying, we just looked over the internet and fucking saw what we could see, and I think they're pretty trivial, but whatever. We'll do it anyways.
Well, I think they're interesting, and the first we're going to cover a gentleman that started several chapters of Antifa in Australia and quit, and we're going to see what he has to say about it,
or as he puts it, terrorist organizations.
Which I'm not gonna. I'm going to parse some words with them, but I'm not gonna parse that one.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is some regressive nonsense going on up in your homeland there.
Yeah, up in Ed's neck of the woods there on the East Coast is where it took place, right beside Ed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just hear Canada, and I don't care. I don't care what part. I don't give a.
Canada's gigantic.
I just know it's the snow neighbors up north. That's the end of it.
The snow trees and moose.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And something about maple syrup. I'm not sure what you guys got going on, but I hear in Tim Hortons.
There's people like maple syrup up here. I don't mind it if I do eat pancakes, which I rarely do. But I mean, I'm not like hooked that shit up to my veins, but apparently the rest of the country is.
I mean, you're a pretty healthy dude though, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave puts a lot of effort into his health, guys. If you didn't know, he eats well, works out, fighter.
Yeah.
I mostly just eat donuts and masturbate. Like that's not peak of my exercise.
Well, hey, everybody's got their thing, right?
Yeah,
I drink more beer than you do. That's not healthy.
Yeah. Good thing weed doesn't put on the calories, or I would really be
weed
fucking.
Make you want to eat the calories though?
Yeah, but if you don't have money to buy food, that doesn't matter.
That, I guess, you would have money to buy food if you weren't buying weed.
Hey man, don't dig into this. Don't dig into this. No, for those that know me, I'm quite the portly fellow, so that might explain your question there, Dave.
Yeah.
No, I was a thick young man before I ever started smoking, so.
Really? Maybe it's family genetics?
I'm not going to probably put this in the show, but me and Chris were starved when we lived with our parents.
Okay.
Like deeply malnourished. And then when name redacted got us, she counteracted that to the full extent of the law. I'm well into like my early teen years. She was the type of person that would like fill up a plate and then I would eat, and she'd be like, "But are you full? Can you eat a little more?"
Yeah.
So like that's the way I was raised. And of course food was like my first drug.
So and for me, like when my dad was around, he'd give me like a man-sized portion and then make me sit there and finish it. So even to this day, I leave a little bit of food on my plate.
As a little fuck you.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have resentment, I suppose, over it. Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's fuck you anymore. It's just habit now. You know, I never finish I never finish a meal.
I got you.
Tracy gets pissed because like I'll eat half of it and then put it in the microwave. Think, oh, I'll eat it later, and then I never do.
You know, I'm probably gonna leave that in.
Yeah.
Pretty honest. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah. Not that dark.
No.
All right.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, man. So you wanna get into
the show proper? No, I don't. I don't really have anything else to say.
Okay.
No. You?
No. How about this? Anyone listening, join the Facebook group. How about that?
Yes.
If you would like to help us get the word out, like us on Spreaker, like us on iTunes, leave us a good review. Subscribe to the YouTube page or the Facebook, or something. Find us, guys. We're out there.
Give us a 5-star review, and if it's a 1-star review, don't fucking bother.
That's true. And we're not asking for any money or anything like this. We're doing this because it's fun. But if you would like to throw us some sort of appreciation, that would be the way to do it right now, is to, just throw some love out there, or just write us a nice message or a tweet or something like that. We have heard from a couple people. We're not going to read them out, but how about this, Dave?
Give a shout out to Oscar Perez.
Yeah, right. Read that one. Fuck it. Read that one.
Read that one. Okay. It says, Atheism Plus destroyed the large atheist community years ago. It is hilarious that they believe that they are the mainstream, our registered team atheist movement. They talk and behave like a religion. No one cares what they have to say. We have had this fight already. Oscar Perez, as you could probably guess, was from last week's, the show that came out on Monday, the MythCon.
Episode number 9, hashtag MythCon.
Hashtag Thomas Smith. Hashtag Eli Bosnick. Hashtag Ed making really funny voices. Hashtag fuck you.
Okay. Hashtag fuck you. All right.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, and we're back from fucking doing whatever it is that Dustin does. There's like funny noises that go on over there, like I hear water bubbling and lighters lighting. I don't really know exactly what it is, but
anyone that believes that you don't know the sound of a bong is motherfucking crazy. First of all. Second of all, you guys...
We didn't actually take a break.
Yeah, you guys just experienced some studio magic. We literally said, we'll be back from the break. And we're back from the break. There was we usually do take a break, but this one, there wasn't really a point.
There was no break. Okay. Anyways, as Dustin alluded to earlier in the first segment of the show, we are going to be talking about a fella from Australia that started a few Antifa chapters. He says that he became radicalized even and started terrorist organizations.
He makes a few bold statements, and a few, let's just get into it.
Outrageous statements.
He does. But it's interesting nonetheless. So this is called, this article is titled, "I established a terror movement in Australia and I quit." It is on news.com.au. And it reads, "I got radicalized in Sydney. I was originally concerned about Western intervention in Syria. Radical left-wing people dominated rallies, and I started to associate with them more. My so-called normal friends drifted away. We would hang out at an anarchist library in Sydney." What the fuck is going on in Sydney that you have anarchist libraries?
No fucking shit.
Like, you guys need to check yourselves. We would hang out at an anarchist library in Sydney. Here, a bunch of people on the Dole gathered enough money to rent out a space and rub a bookshop.
And for Americans that don't speak British English, that means what?
So let's reread that for just so the irony can set in. Like, this could be an Onion article, but it's not. This is the world we live in.
Fact check.
We did. I was concerned.
We found him on video.
We would hang out at an anarchist library in Sydney. Here, a bunch of people on the Dole gather enough money to rent out the space and run a bookshop. It's like extremist networking. I came to believe that war was a symptom of bigger systems at play in society, and they were the real enemy, like white supremacy and patriarchy. Oh, the ever-vague patriarchy, Dave. Antifa believe these systems need to be smashed through a process of deplatforming to save the world. People who don't necessarily agree on everything are united to attack their common enemy, anyone in the right wing of politics. That is a loaded fucking paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
The second half of it there, first of all, you notice that their focus is on censorship. It is on deplatforming. And they are considering everyone in the right wing to be the problem. So to say that this is just about Nazis.
What do they consider right wing? Because I would say that, because I've seen them say classical liberals are on that list.
Of course. Right? No, of course. I mean, like, we would fall pretty close, or that's a fair description. I don't run around parading it, but that's a fair description for me. And I've been recently called a Nazi sympathizer. So, like, I fall well within the lines of this.
I was told that point blank, I am the reason why we need feminism. And I was called racist the other day too.
So back to the article. This micro society became my life for 4 years. They believe historically their roots were fighting Nazi oppression. They run a website, sitting around in libraries on the Dole, fighting the Nazis. They run a website which is updated every couple of weeks.
Nah, I fight the Nazis. See, man, I'm the big Antifa. See, man, you'll never take me alive, Nazi.
They run a website which is updated every couple of weeks with a hit list of right-wing names. How...
Yikes.
What's the word? Nazi-ish of them.
Yeah, no fucking shit. Oh
my God.
They complain about McCarthyism, but that's so McCarthyism.
They believe if these people are allowed to speak, right back to free speech there, society will suffer, so they must be pushed back. There is no mission statement. Rather, it's a dangerous rhetoric. There are a lot of very damaged people who are drawn to it. Lots of activists came from Sydney University. They invited me along to some of their lectures. When I was organizing the Reclaim Australia rally and pushing Antifa into Brisbane, we delegated roles out across the gathering. Someone would print pamphlets that got our propaganda out there. Someone else would look after social media and online. We all gathered people to come. I read that Antifa in the U.S. is training people to shoot and punch. It's the same here. Antifa in Sydney are doing martial arts too. As they would put it, fight the Nazis. It's a paramilitary mindset. It's more dangerous than ISIS. And that's where I have to cut him off right there. And he's definitely being beyond hyperbolic here, but we have a little clip of him talking about it, that we're going to play for you guys. And then me and Dave, it's part of a larger, I believe, 18-minute video, but we're just going to play a short portion of it. And there's going to be a link to it in the description. So pull that up for me, Dave, and let's play it.
Hello, I'm making this video to explain and clarify my recent article, the interview that I gave to a freelance journalist that ended up in Fairfax Media's news.com.au, which the headline is Antifa More Dangerous Than ISIS. I'm making this video to clarify what I meant by that, and also to talk a little bit about my experiences in the radical left and why I'm willing to talk out against them and their willingness to use violence for political means. So, first of all, the context of that quote saying that ISIS is more dangerous, that the far left is more dangerous than ISIS, was in relation to the fact that neo-Marxist ideologies are being taught at universities, and I think they're ripping apart the fabric of society and adding to the political polarization. Okay, it was a comment that was hyperbolic, But I do stand by the fact that I do think that this ideology is a threat to civilization itself if it is left unchecked.
He does admit this hyperbolic. I believe it's a little beyond hyperbolic. Like, frankly, until you start beheading women or selling sex slaves or something equivalent, right? Like, as long as you're punching people, your name does not deserve to be in the same mouth as ISIS.
Even regular old murder doesn't really cut it on the ISIS scale, right?
And don't get me wrong, we compare them to Nazis, but like early day Nazis, you know, like when they're, and it's super early, when they're willing to use violence to get their political opinions across. Like with that, that's what we mean.
Not when they're putting Jews
not when they're gassing people. That's not, that's not what we're talking about. And here's things like ISIS has been a military movement and a religious movement from the very beginning. I don't like the comparison, but his point was made. Dave, yes, I'm just saying.
Okay, and the guy's name is Shayne Hunter, and Shayne has a Y instead of an I. Anyway,
and here's the thing: I'm not going to parse with them, with saying that it's something that can't be left unchallenged. I mean, that's part of what we do here on the show. Like, I feel like it is important to challenge both of the extremist narratives that are being propagated at the moment. Dave, do you have anything else to add before we get back into the article?
I'm curious as to how he got
it's actually about to come up. You're going to be surprised, I bet, with what he says.
Okay.
He says, I was ideologically possessed for 4 years. I would speak louder on public transport so people could hear me speak, hoping they would hear my message. The radical left of Antifa presents itself as being about compassion and empathy. It's a Trojan horse. All conversations are about entitlement and rights, not responsibility. When the people talk about freedom, they really mean freedom from responsibility. Often people who are drawn to this cult don't have a strong identity outside it. I'm not a psychologist, but like ISIS, it gives people a sense of belonging to something and having purpose. This is where he gets into what kind of de-radicalized them. A social justice warrior cringe video appeared on my social media feed. Leafy did it, man. like a Sargon got him. A couple of weeks later, it popped up again, so I pressed play. It was like seeing the entire cult through an outside lens. It woke me up. I realized that everything I started to believe was wrong. You don't know humiliation. You don't know humiliation until you've left a cult. I wasted 4 years of my life. I cut ties over time. I'm still in contact with some ex-cult members. I like that he uses that, but I don't see anyone who's still active. In my 20-something generation, social media plays the role of a 24/7 preacher, like a pocket preacher. Each day you're being validated by the echo chamber on your phone. Antifa would say there is nothing good about Australian society. Their minds project that belief in everything is filtered through this ideology. Without doubt, it's a huge and growing threat to Australian society. It's a miserable mindset. When I got out of it and stopped feeling oppressed, I finally felt like I could take control of my life. And that's what I intend to do now. End of the article.
So that's the thing, is like kind of the narrative, like there's nothing good about American culture. There's nothing good about Canadian culture. There's nothing good about Australian culture. And I'm not going to sit here and claim that things are perfect. I didn't grow up perfect either, but it's pretty fucking good. You know what I mean?
It's only the best the world has to offer. Like Western civilization, Western culture, like the first world. It's only the best anyone has ever had it. That's all.
Yes, is the best, and right now is the easiest that anybody's ever had it. Easiest access to food, money, healthcare. Like, it just,
and I get that it doesn't stand up to what people can imagine to be a better society. Like, I get that. But it kind of reminds me of when you first start dating someone. Like, first you have this idealized version of who they are. But as you get to know them, you have to sacrifice that and realize that this is the person, and you have to accept the flaws to a certain extent and work within them. Like, you're never gonna, utopia is not going to happen. Not overnight.
Here's the thing with that utopia thing. It's like you live in a society with a fucking shitload of people, and not everybody wants to live in the same way, right? So we're all kind of in a social contract that, you know, we'll vote on things and we'll try to navigate and we'll do the best that we can. But maybe not everybody in the society wants to live in your socialist utopia. For me, it sounds terrible. Me personally, even after you get to the end of it, I like working hard and getting extra for working hard. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I
So
do.
it's
It's fulfilling.
Yes. So I just like for me, it's like I'm not into it, and a lot of people aren't into it. So we're kind of, you know, society is a mishmash of a bunch of different ways that people want to live. And it's insane to think that everybody's going to want to live the same way and call it a utopia.
Right. To me,
anyways, that was kind of off subject.
Well, if there is a utopia, it is a world where everyone is free to chase their desires, as long as it is not infringing on other people chasing their desires. And I'd be goddamned if that's not capitalism. Or what we're trying to create in this country. Not capitalism. But it's what we're trying to create in this country. And in the West. Like those, like anything else is forced. Anything else is forced and is by default oppression. So yes. I don't know where else we can go with this. How did we get into capitalism? And the West? Oh yeah. This guy wanted to destroy the West. That's right.
Yes, he wanted, and because they complain about how awful society, like Western society is, yet it's a society where they can bum money off the government, set up a fucking fake ass bookstore, and plan the demise of Western civilization and culture. Just think about that for a second. They hate Western society, yet we give them the fucking money to set up a fake ass bookstore so that they can plan our fucking demise, and we allow them to do it because free speech.
You know what it reminds me of?
Chief Mate, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been sliced. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain.
Or what do Oh man.
But isn't that like, okay, that's beyond ironic. It's like it's you know what it's exactly like. And you know what, this is gonna kind of be like my throwing that guy a bone on the ISIS thing. It's exactly like those ISIS recruiters and extremists in Britain that are on the dole that are planning the demise of Britain.
You're right.
And they go on television and we say we're planning the demise as they're taking Western money.
No, you're right. There's oh my God, what a funny world. What a time to be alive, Dave. What a time to be alive.
Oh, fuck. It could be like, it could be worse. We could be in the fucking Middle Ages.
That's so true.
You know?
Which is what or we could be in a communist country.
Or we could be in North Korea.
Yeah. Oh, God damn.
Which is basically Middle Ages.
Oh, we might have to talk about them again soon.
Sooner or later. But, so, with this guy, like it wasn't a huge article, and like I don't think we're going to get into a grand discussion about Antifa itself. We just want to talk about the one guy. We did look him up. There is a video of him talking about it. If he is a master Poe, forgive us, but we did kind of look into it.
In fact, we haven't even finished the video. I'm gonna sit down. We got about maybe 5-10 minutes into this 18-minute video, and we were like, well, I just wanted him to defend the ISIS claim. So that's why we brought it in. But if anyone would like to hear more of what this guy has to say, we're willing to link you to that.
I would have rather him make the claim that they are more like fascists than, because in Italy they had a saying for people that don't know, it was Mussolini that came up with fascism. They had a saying: there's two types of fascists and anti-fascists.
That seems very fair. It seems to be coming true today, for sure.
Both of them tell you what to do, or both of them want to try to tell you what to do.
And are willing to use violence to reach their goals.
Exactly.
Exactly. But anyway. And here's the thing, guys. Fascism isn't necessarily based on racism. So to be anti-fascist isn't to be anti-racist. And to say that to fight fascists is to fight against racists is a misnomer. So rethink that argument and come back to us.
Son of a bitch.
All right. Let's move on and let's see what's going up in
this time we're not going to pretend to take a break.
Yes, there will actually be some bubbles. Yes. All right.
And I actually have to use the wash.
All right.
And in the U.S. bathroom.
Yes.
Is that what you guys say?
We say
you guys don't say.
We say a lot of things. We say a lot of things. Restrooms,
you guys
bathrooms.
Say
hit the head. Yes.
Hit the head.
Yeah,
okay,
I say hit the head a lot actually. Yeah. Isn't that military? Isn't that like Navy?
It's a naval.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we both come from the British naval tradition, so that would pass on.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, and we're back from the bong hits. Dustin is properly blitzed. My tank is properly emptied, and we're ready to go. That was a piss joke, if you didn't know. Okay, so Halifax Music Festival apologizes for overt racism after volunteer refuses to give spot near stage to women of color. Halifax Pop Explosion Music Festival is apologizing for the actions of a volunteer who interrupted a performance by Polaris prize-winning singer Lido Pimenta? I don't know. Pimenta?
I also have no clue. I read this article with a buddy of mine, and we tried for like 5 minutes.
Okay, so here, I'm just going to spell it for you. P-I-M.
Lido.
Lido. P-I-M-I-E-N-T-A. If anybody...
It could be Pimento. Pimenta.
Racist. With overt racism. Okay. A statement on behalf of the festival's board of directors addresses the singer directly and promises to make changes to improve anti-oppression and anti-racism training over the next year.
Just send them to the Orwell classes.
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah.
Just a little brainwashing.
Yes. We are sorry that one of our volunteers interrupted your art, your show, and your audience by being aggressive and racist, reads a Facebook post signed by Vice Chairman Georgi Datka. What's with all the fucking names? Anyways, Halifax
your
Festival
country, dude.
says... Yeah, but they're all, lack of better terms, foreign. Racist? It's a country full of
xenophobic.
It's a country full of foreign people. I'm foreign.
You're
So
Yeah.
The Halifax Festival says the incident involved a white volunteer photographer and several white audience members who reacted negatively when Piemonte, I'm just going to call her Piemonte if that's cool with everybody, invited brown girls to the front during her October 19th show. The outspoken singer, who took home the Polaris Prize for her album La Papacia last month, frequently asked her audience to welcome people of color to the front of the stage. In turn, she requests that white people move to the back. While Detka doesn't offer much detail in his post, festival spokesman Trevor Murphy confirmed Ali Omaniki's, Jesus Christ, account of what transpired. Omaniki says the problem started when a volunteer female photographer removed a step away from her spot near the front. It led to a clash with nearby audience members who became angered over her insistence on remaining near the stage to take photos, says Omaniki, who performs as dream pop act Trails and Shares, management with Pamanita. She just kept saying, "Move to the back," says Monique. Finally, after saying it about 10 times and when the woman refused to move to the back, Pamanita said, "You're cutting into my set time and you're disrespecting these women and I have no time for this." Event organizers say the volunteer was removed from the show, immediately chose to sever ties with the festival. I would have severed ties with them too, racist cunts. Pamanita's management did not respond to requests for comment. Julia Seymour Rutgers, one of Halifax women invited to Pamanita to shift closer to the stage, says she was surprised by the photographer's refusal to move. There's a certain understanding that if an artist asks a crowd to do something, the artist is in charge of that space, she says. I'm just going to say this right now. If I'm at your concert and you tell me to do something, go fuck yourself.
Well, like, you go to a lot of shows and you know, a lot of frontmen will get the crowd, you know, to yell something, or I've even, like, seen people tell, you know, to get down on their knees and things like that. Like, no, look, hold on. As long as it's part of fucking some kind of show and but, you know what, let's finish the article.
The artist is in charge in that space, she says. The clash was emblematic of the opinion that polarizes people of color, particularly women, is reverse racist, says Rutgers. It's those mindsets that create that sort of backlash at the shows, she says. I don't know. Yes.
Hold on. I want to point out, circle, that she's saying shows.
Shows.
So this is something that she does when she goes to shows.
Yes.
And this is causing an ongoing conflict in her wake.
Yes. And
this is just one that's made into the news.
And I just want to add real quick. It was a festival. Yes. It wasn't a concert just for her. Right?
Okay.
So it wasn't just her fans. Like, it wasn't just her fans that were there. Maybe the photographer in the front wasn't even a fan of hers. So go fuck yourself. Racist. I don't know if I would say it can be attributed to the crowd pop explosion gets. So now the pop explosion crowd is racist, or more so just the sort of people that exist in Halifax. So now the city of Halifax is racist, and the mindsets that prevail here. I just want to say something real quick. It's just a historical fact about Halifax. Halifax was actually the epicenter of the Underground Railroad. Just so everybody's clear on that, Halifax has a large African American / African Canadian population for the size of the city, and they always have. They have a long rooted history there because it's where the Underground Railroad led to. Just so everybody's aware of what this person is calling a racist city. The 4-day music bash, which wrapped up October 21st, is usually considered a diverse affair, with performances by more than 150 artists and Canadian speakers. Pamanita's show had its share of audience tension, says Monique, who highlighted two instances that happened near her in the audience. There was a man standing behind me, an older man who was referring to Ludo as a racist because she was dividing the crowd, she says. And rightly fucking so, sir. I'm going to classify him as man.
Okay, let's go on.
Okay, I also saw two women fighting closer to me, yelling in each other's faces and giving each other the finger. In closing their statement, Halifax Pop Explosion organizers specifically addressed people of color. We are going to try our best as a festival to create ways to make our spaces safer and more accessible for you. We hope we can rebuild some trust and that you will come back to our shows. Okay, it wasn't the festival. It was the fucking I'm doing like big, like just think I have like two great big Blue Jay #1 fists on, and I'm doing big ass quotations. It was the artist. Okay, it wasn't the people in the crowd. Like there was there was somebody that was causing diversity there,
causing division.
Division there, and it was. Go ahead.
So to recap, this lady is performing. She asked all the black women to come up to the front,
and all the white women to go to the back.
To go to the back, and or white people.
Yes.
You know, and a photographer didn't leave. And okay, first of all, that woman taking those pictures at the front is not causing any problems at all. She's there to do a job, and she's doing her job. For fucking one. For fucking two, her being up front there is not taking the place of some black, like it's not like some black woman got thrown out because she's sitting up front, you know. She's not taking up anyone's space. It's not like there's not enough room, people can't hear. Like this bullshit, okay? And absolutely, you do not have to go to the back of the bus because of your color. We decided that right here in my home state. You fucking don't. You don't. And the whole reverse racism claim. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm fucking on a rant here. It's fucking racism. There's reverse fucking what? We are all the same thing. People. We're all people. And you can be racist against people that don't look like you. Prejudiced against people that don't look like you. And that is what this is. Like, it's fucked up. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, and we never really had the back of the bus thing here. So I would say that it's the person that is telling, you know, white people to move to the back that is causing the problem. Like, the apology should have been to the photographer, not to Lolita or Lita or whatever the fuck her name is. I'm not saying that because she's Colombian Canadian. I'm saying because her name is shitty.
This would be more like a Southern artist going to the North where there's segregated crowds and asking the crowds to segregate before they go on. Does the artist get to choose what the space is then? Does the artist just get to tell the crowd what to do? No, there's fucking moral limits to what you can tell people to do and frankly, you're abusing your fucking position by asking people to do racist things.
Yeah. And also she's causing a problem that isn't already there. Like it's
fucking man.
It's already an intermixed, crowd you would have. And like, so I'm Canadian, so I know what goes on at concerts in Canada. You would already have all the races intermixing with each other. You'd have gay, straight, trans, bisexual. There would be no problems. People are pretty chill here. They'd be watching the thing. That caused the situation with people getting into each other's faces. She's the one that actually caused that situation. So if there's anybody that's a threat, it's her.
She's on a shit stirring tour.
Yes.
Right? It makes the news. And in standard Canadian fashion, you guys are just like, oh, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. We didn't mean to interfere you here, standing here taking pictures like my job is. Like, I don't, holy shit, man. And okay, so, and of course everyone recognizes that this is logical within this, intersectionality or what we would call regressive mindset. There's nothing wrong with it. You're making priority. And that's what the lady said. You're making priority for women of color. Like, I do not prioritize gender, race, sex, sexuality. I do not prioritize that. I prioritize character. Who are you? What do you do? What do you believe? Like,
yes.
How do you treat people? That's what matters, man. Fuck the brown girls and the white girls. Like good people is what matters.
Yeah, but you don't have the oppressed and the oppressor mindset.
Right. And that's because, and before I got into all of this SJW stuff years ago, This reminds me of a story. If I can digress for just a moment here, I got in contact with the girl that I dated for a while when I was young, and
by girl he means guy.
Sure. And we were talking, and she had just graduated from university,
from middle school,
and the University of Boulder, Colorado. But anyway, nice girl. So we're talking, and we're talking about race and gender and all that type of thing. And of course she was a feminist. Yeah. And I brought up that she was one of the first people that really made me realize that I'm not like a white person, because I had mentioned to her when I was young, sometimes I forget that I'm not exactly white. And she was like surprised by that statement, like, oh, really? Like, it's pretty obvious. And I brought that up, and she apologized. And she was like, I didn't mean to like oppress you and hurt you. And I was like, look, we're all oppressed. We all have our struggle. No one knows what it's like to be each other. Like, it's no big deal. And that is still the way I feel about it. Like years later after, and I've waded my ways through all the extremist ideologies. We don't know what it's like to be each other. Everyone is oppressed to a certain extent. We all have times in our life when we're shit on and held down by someone, because that is existence. Society is oppressive to everyone. It is also liberating in a different way, right? It's a sacrifice that you make. But like, yes, we're all oppressed to a certain extent. So that's why I don't have the oppressor-oppressed mindset, because even your oppressor is oppressed by someone else. Sorry, Dave, you're getting all starry-eyed.
No, I'm not. No, you're not. You're not. To be honest with you, I have dust in my eyes from work. I'm sorry. That's legit what was going on there.
That's so funny. I mean, challenge me there, Dave. If you
I don't really have. I don't have a disagreement for that. I would say that there are some people that obviously live above that. Like if you're a super rich person, you're not really oppressed, right? Like like the average person, but I guess you could be oppressed by the law. But like I mean, you're in a okay, but there are drawbacks to having that money too. And how about this? Like before they had that money, before they had that money, what were their parents like? Like were they violent? Were they shitty? Did they ignore them? Like but that's not oppression.
It's according to the way they treated him. And then like, so no one ever, like, yes, I'm sure there's some people, and frankly, I wouldn't want that life. Like, I know that I have become a better person through my struggles. So I wouldn't want to rob anyone of theirs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to know what like as far as this Loda or whatever the fuck her name is, like she's from Colombia, she moves to Canada. I just want to know like why like has it been that much of a struggle here that she thinks that like brown women are oppressed? Because I live with one. She had a way more privileged life than I did. I struggled to get to middle class. She was born in upper middle class. You know what I mean?
No, I do know what you mean.
So I just like I don't understand this calling to the front thing. I could see if like people were being mean or like in the first place, like, hey, brown women, get to the back, but that I guarantee you that isn't what was happening. Like I would put my fucking balls on it. That isn't what was happening.
I would pretty well assume that everyone was chilling, not thinking about race much at all.
Like it's a pop festival.
Except for the handful of racists around.
It's not like it's Norwegian fucking. It's not for like it's Norwegian death metal. You know what I mean? It's a pop festival. Fucking some of the black people or brown women, because she didn't say men. She was like brown women.
That's how you know it's intersectionality, though.
Yes.
It's not just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're probably some of them were already at the front. I guarantee it.
Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And like, how about, did she get mad at the black women that stayed in the back?
Yeah, if they were like, fuck you.
Okay, so
can I just say I've never heard of her before?
Neither have I.
Because,
who cares?
And they have to like pull her as prize winner. Like, did she win a Grammy or did she win Much Music Award or something?
Apparently, she won the Polaris Award, yes. Like the North Star Award.
Yeah, but that's not even.
Never heard of it.
The Canadian Emmy is like, it's not a Juno. She hasn't won a Juno, obviously, because it would say Juno Award winning. And then like MTV, we have Much Music. So she doesn't have a Much Music Award. She doesn't have an MTV Award. I've never heard of her. This isn't a good way for her to be like.
To break into. Well, it's according to what crowd she's trying to cater to. True. Like, we know people that have absolutely made a career out of pushing this exact sort of rhetoric.
Yes.
So
can't we all just get along, Dustin?
No.
Do we have to does everything always have to be like racist or sexist or like can we just talk? Like, does it always have to be about the person's identity or how they're oppressed or like let's just have a conversation.
Unless I'm sitting down to talk about one of these crazies, it doesn't enter into very many of my conversations. And I think that's true of most people. I wafer on how
unless you were
popular...
at that fucking concert. Right? If you were one of the people at that concert.
You're right. You're right. And there's people like this that I work with. There's people like this on my Facebook. No, you're right. They're everywhere. Which, look, they think we're fucking Nazi sympathizers. Like, so they at least our perception of them isn't of, well, extreme hostility. Ignore the last segment. Okay, so fair. No. It's a two-way street. Are we as delusional as they are? Isn't that the question?
Well, we could be wrong.
Anything else to say about this, Dave?
No, I really don't. It pisses me off. Like I don't know. When I think of Canadian music, I think of people like Gord Downey of the Tragically Hip who worked to bring the country together. Like, when I think of Canadian music, I don't think of, like, I don't know if you've heard of the Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think of, like, they would never do anything to make anybody feel unwelcome. And I think that in, like, even if you give her the benefit of the doubt and she's like, I want to make these brown women feel welcome, she's making the white women feel unwelcome by sending them to the back of the concert. And, I think of City in Color. Beautiful music. What you would never ever see that at one of their shows. Like, it would
no. Dallas would never do something like that. No. I saw him live, actually. What a fantastic performance. Yeah.
It's just not what Canadian music is about, really. And and I know people are going to be like, "What do you mean Canadian music?" But there's just a tone to the writing.
Well, let me explain what he means by Canadian musicians. He means people like Justin Bieber and bands like Nickelback. That's what he means.
You son of a bitch!
You walked into that one, you motherfucker. You walked into it.
Okay, listen.
I got you in the mouth full of fucking beer, too.
We had Justin Bieber. He was a sweet little child. He was a sweet little internet baby with the voice of an angel.
And then he came here,
and he sang on the internet. Usher found him, and you brought him down south. And 4 years later, you sent him back a cunt.
Oh, come on!
He was a
cunt when he left.
No, he was. He was a little boy.
You can't put it on America, you son of a bitch.
He was a sweet little boy with the voice of an angel. Now he throws eggs at his neighbors and rips through his neighborhood. And actually, I think he's like gay for Jesus now, isn't he? Gay for Jesus.
I don't know anything about Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I think he's gay for Jesus.
Not an 80s podcast.
No, that is not Canadian music. That is American music.
That is Canadian music.
That is American music sung by a Canadian. That's as close as you're getting.
Okay, well, if you're going to say that, then you might as well give Dallas Green to us because he cut his chops. He cut it to you. He fucking cut his chops in America with Alexis on Fire. So
I am not giving Dallas Green to you. Nope.
I fucking told you about. No, I fucking told you about him and everything, you cocksucker.
You didn't.
On the very first interview that you had from me on Wavework.
You told me that you were into him, but you didn't tell me about.
I'm pretty sure on that episode you didn't know.
No, go back and listen.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, go back and listen.
I will. It's going to be right at the beginning.
Yeah,
it won't take long.
We'll do it together right now.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about it next episode.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's it, folks.
All right.
You've been listening to the Everyone's Wrong podcast. You can find us on our homepage at Spreaker.com/Everyone's Wrong. You can find us on iTunes and on YouTube by searching Everyone's Wrong podcast, or on your favorite podcast listening app by importing our RSS feed. Follow us on Facebook by typing facebook.com/Everyone's Wrong, or join our closed Facebook group by searching Everyone's Wrong After Hours. Tweet us at wrong_pod, or email us at everyone'swrongpodcast@gmail.com. All links to our platforms and pages are in the show notes.